is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/bgunlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no run-through review for the newest hero. Well, actually, at this point, Hulk would be the newest hero. The second newest hero, Doctor Strange, for Marvel Champions. Now, if you haven't seen yet, me and Brad actually did our rankings of all the heroes prior to Doctor Strange. So, if you want to know my thoughts on all of those, then you can definitely go check that out. It's called Interesting Topics, Marvel Ranking Marvel Heroes, something like that. But I'm going to be talking about Doctor Strange and how freaking cool he is. And I am not surprised in any way that Doctor Strange would be one of the more versatile and really fun heroes to play as, because he does something different than all the other heroes so far. All the other heroes that were in the game and that have since come out before Doctor Strange had effects that would they would sit in their own deck. And of course they were all different in one way or another, but Doctor Strange actually has his own side deck of 5 cards called his Invocations. So these 5 cards consist of the Winds of Watum, the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, the Vapors of Voltor, the Images of Icon, and then the 7 Rings of Ragador. So these 5 cards sit off on their own, and Doctor Strange's main ability is called Spell Mastery, that allows him to cast these cards separate from, so he doesn't have to actually draw them. And what's really cool about these is this is what makes Doctor Strange extremely versatile. He probably, in my opinion, he's not the easiest hero to play. That would probably still fall under Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange is probably the one that can do the most in terms of, attacking and dealing some damage, thwarting, and then also defending and protecting people. So he's very, like I've been saying, versatile. Now, he does have his drawbacks. I believe every hero does. But him having the ability to actually kind of run through these 5 cards that he's almost always going to have makes him so much fun to play. But also extremely challenging, because he doesn't have these 5 cards to just sit around. You shuffle the 5, and then the top one is the one that is always revealed. So that's the one that you can cast with his ability. However, his Stephen Strange ability allows you to discard it, and the top card is always revealed. So as soon as you discard, you reveal the next one. But this is where his drawbacks come in, because there's only 5, which is fantastic, because if there was any more, then I think he would actually be kind of lame. So the 5 cards are essentially Winds of Watum allows you to draw cards. Then you have I'll show you again. The Winds of Watum allows you to draw cards. The Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, this is his heaviest damage card, which is it stuns the enemy and deals 7 damage to them. And I'm going to explain how Doctor Strange, he's essentially kind of weak. He's not the strongest hero out of all of them. I mean, She-Hulk can dish out a lot of damage. Captain Marvel can deal out a bunch of damage, and Iron Man, once he gets going, can deal out a bunch of damage as well. But so that's probably that's the card. Not probably, that is the card that deals the most damage. He has a card in his deck called Magic Blast, which is right there. That deals 5 damage, and it has the potential of dealing 7, but it mainly deals 5. But then you have the 7 Rings of Ragador that allows you to give 3 heroes tough, or 3 characters the tough status, so there's your kind of protection. The Images of Icon, that's his threat removal. It confuses the villain and also lets you remove threat. And then the Vapors of Voltor, this is actually a pretty unique one because it's free and allows you to change a status card for another status card. So for example, if you're stunned, then you can make yourself tough. It's pretty cool. I'm hoping that they do a little bit more statuses in the future, like maybe one or two more that make that card even better, maybe more beneficial ones instead of just having the one good one, which is tough, and then the two bad ones, maybe one more good one or something that gives you some versatility. But in terms of his actual deck, like, he doesn't do a whole lot. Like, so he does. But he does a lot of stuff that do center around his own spells and then the invocations. So, like, for example, he has his 2-1s. He has his Magic Blast. But then he has 2 cards called Sanctum Sanctorum and then Mystical Studies. And both of these cards allow you to, while you're in alter ego form, they let you siphon through your deck and also find cards in your discard pile and put them back into your deck. And they are essentially spells. The Mystical Studies lets you find specifically a Doctor Strange card and just put it into your hand. And then the Sanctum Sanctorum lets you take a spell card in your discard pile and put it back into your deck, shuffle your deck, and then draw one. What makes Doctor Strange so much fun, in my opinion, is this type of hand management and this, the ability to actually almost constantly have a hand of cards to be able to pay for his I mean, the magic spell is three resource, so that's not nothing in a game where your hand limit is 5 or 6. Now he does get the of course the Eye of Agamotto. That's his pretty much one resource card that generates a wild. So if you have that out, which, I mean, it costs 2 and it's just going to stay out, which is great, then you're at least going to have one resource. So his basic deck, like his pre-built, is it's him and with protection, which is not nothing. But then he also, his Cloak of Levitation, which allows him to, that gets you readied. So he is actually pretty good. Now here's where you can actually get really fun with him, is because, well, he has some protection cards, like I mentioned, and some regular thwarting, but overall his actual deck is relatively weak, like compared to some of the others that come out like hitting hard. And like all of the other like heroes that I tested him with the Wrecking Crew as well, and he didn't fare bad against them, but he didn't beat them as quickly as I would have expected with it being Doctor Strange. So with this is the card that makes him kind of definitely not busted, but it is the Master of the Mystic Arts card. So this card allows you to play. You have to pay the printed cost on the top card of your invocation deck, and then you get to basically do it for free without having to discard it. So this is where he can become extremely nasty. Because let's say you're up against a hero, and with his ability to draw cards, so let's say you're in Stephen Strange's, alter ego form. So you have your 2 cards out that are let's just say you have Magic Blast in your hand, which does the 5 damage, and then you have the 2 cards that let you the Mystical Studies and then the Sanctum Sanctorum. So you're able to actually tap both of those, search your deck for a spell, put it into your deck, like with the Sanctum Sanctorum, put a spell card into your deck, and then use the Mystical Studies to get that spell card. So he does have 2 Magic Blasts. So great. Okay, now we have 2 Magic Blasts, and you get to draw a card as well. So if you're in your hand limit of 6, then you flip to Doctor Strange, use your Spell Mastery, use the Eye of Agamotto as a generic wild to be able to pay for your Master of the Mystic Arts, and then you have a hand limit of 6. You spend 2 of those to be able to pay for the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. That lets you do 7 damage and keep it on the top. Or, better yet, you get lucky and you have the Winds of Watum that you just pay, draw 3 cards, so there's 9 cards in your hand. Then you get the Crimson Band. You play the Master of the Mystic Arts, so there's 7 damage. You have 2 extra cards. Now you can play the Crimson Bands of Sidorak just with his regular ability, like the Spell Mastery ability, to do another 7 damage. So there's 14. Then you have what is that, 9 cards in your hand, 2 of them being this. So you pay 3 of them to play a Magic Blast. There's 5 damage right there. Then you deal the top card of your deck, and then whatever happens there, if it's a wild, you get all of the above, which is stun that enemy, deal 2 damage to the enemy, or confuse that enemy. Let's say you get the lightning bolt, so now you've done another 7 damage, that's 21. And I'm sure if my math is correct, that would leave you with 3 cards left. If you were able to, oh no, you would actually have another drawn card from your Sanctum, so you would have had 10 cards. So then you pay another 3 to play your Magic Blast to deal another 5 damage. If you got really lucky, then you can potentially do 28 points of damage in one turn. That's how we can get nasty. And you can do relatively well also, not to that level of damage, but like of thwarting, because there's, remove the 4 thwarts. So with the Master of the Mystic Arts, which he has 2 of, like, in his deck, then you're almost always going to be able to have the card that you want in your hand, as long as you get the Mystical Studies and Sanctum Sanctorum out, because you can just do those. He is just such a fun hero to play. If I were to, do I want to do that? Nope, I'm not gonna rank him with the other ones, because I'm thinking that as more come out, that we're gonna do a separate video, a separate ranking video, ranking, like, not so much, like, kind of in the terms of, like, what do they call it? Whenever they release like a new Magic box set, that's kind of what we're gonna do. After a certain amount of time, we're gonna do another ranking with the new heroes, and it's Fantasy Flight, so they'll probably never quit making. I mean, they will at some point, but it'll be interesting. But he is so much fun. He's not like wow, like I didn't have like so much like awesome destructive power like some of the other heroes that I really like Captain Marvel or She-Hulk. But the fact that he almost always has an answer, and the fact that you don't have to rely so much on luck with your card draws, you're just sitting there and you're just like, oh, okay, great, I'm just going to tap Mystical Studies and then get the card that I want out, and okay, great, so now that's in my hand, I'm going to cast it immediately. That is really, really good. And I think they did a really good job at balancing him with that, because everything I just went over with, we know the potentially 28 points of damage. I mean, you'd have to have, that's not going to happen all the time. Like, if you'd have to do everything perfect and have, everything perfect come out with your invocations, which once again they did find a way to balance it, because you have Wong, who can either also, he can heal you, or he can also discard the top card of your invocation deck, so you can definitely siphon through those. But the 28 is and as far as I can tell, max, unless because you have to exhaust him, unless you have the Cloak of Levitation, which lets you ready him, and then you wouldn't have any cards in your hand left over. I think 28 is 29 with the initial attack, because he has 1 attack, is the max you can do. Now, as for negatives with Doctor Strange, once again, it depends. It's of course going to depend on the enemy that you fight, because Wrecking Crew, well, there's basically 4 of them, but one almost is going to be going, like, not all the time, but it's not like they all 4 attack you. So I've never really thought that they've put up much of a fight anyway, but I think if you're going up against like a really high powerful, or one that puts a lot of statuses on you, well, he does have answers for it, but Doctor Strange is he doesn't like ebb and flow so much. I think he basically is static the entire time. You know exactly what he's going to be about. He might have a little blip where he does a bunch of damage, but for the most part, he's going to be pinging them for very minimal damage. He doesn't really have any allies. He has Wong, Brother Voodoo, Clea, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, everything else in his deck Iron Fist. He does have. So he doesn't have a lot of allies to protect him. Granted, he does have ways to heal. However, he's very mellow type of hero. He's not going to be doing like a shit ton of damage all at once without you having to make the combos for it. Now, what's great about him is you get to have those combos. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to play this one card and that's 15 points of damage, you know. It's, okay, boom, 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 boom. Here we go. There we go. I earned that. I planned for this, for that 28 points, which is a lot of damage. But yeah, so if you're looking for someone who's going to have a whole lot of stuff that he can activate and do a lot of damage or a lot of dodging or a lot of protection, he's not really like that. He is, but he's not fast about it. You have to work around it. So I think that they've done a fantastic job with him. Yeah, I'm really trying to think of like his biggest downside is the fact that he's not inherently strong or defensive or thwarting, like which I think was intentional with them having you use your invocation deck and specifically have cards that let you at least almost always have something in your hand, which is fantastic because, like, unlike Black Panther, who can chain off a bunch of his armor pieces, you have to get lucky and draw the card that you needed. Here you don't have to get lucky. You can activate a card that lets you search your deck and be like, oh, okay, I need a Doctor Strange card. Well, I don't have any cards in my hand that deal damage right now. Oh, look, there's Magic Spell. Boom, right in my hand, or Magic Blast. I can't really think of any other negatives with him, because they've done such a great job with him, with his invocations. Like, there's 5 of them. They all do something very specific. Like, everything that really, there's just 5 mechanics in the game, and there's 5 cards that specifically touch on those. And you don't have to really get lucky on those. You can, but you have so many ways to get around that. And if like so many, like, okay, you need card draw, boom, I'm gonna do my Master of the Mystic Arts, which lets me draw. I'm gonna draw 3, then I'm gonna activate. It's free, so I'm gonna keep it there. I'm essentially gonna draw 6 on Stephen Strange's hand of 6. So you have 12 cards in your hand, which is disgusting to actually have in this kind of game. And you can even probably make it even nastier if you draw your Strength, Genius, and whatever the other one is, Energy, which now pay for 2. So there's just, he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, honestly. But in my experience fighting against Wrecking Crew, like I did with the other 9, he didn't beat them as quickly, but he also didn't take as long. So once again, just that very, very static kind of hero. But he was still rewarding. He's a rewarding hero. There we go. Like, he's not super energetic, not like, yes, woo, bam, bam, like, but whenever you get the combos off, then you get the combos off, and that makes it a lot of fun. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rate Doctor Strange? Oh, and for the record, his nemesis is Baron Mordo. I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with with anyone really in comics. I know as much as the MCU has given me, but if I had to rate Doctor Strange on a scale of 1 to 10, if I had to, of course I'm going to, I would probably give him a 9 out of 10. I think he is one of the best that has actually coming out for them for this game so far. I think this is also a step in the right direction for what they should do with all these heroes, because I know they've announced Ant-Man and Wasp, and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which apparently the thing about those 2, or those 4, is Ant-Man and Wasp, they have like a duo, so if they play together, they can play off each other, and same with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, which I think they need to start experimenting that way. Having Doctor Strange have his own separate side deck is going to be fantastic. Hulk, I think, is unique in some way, but I don't know yet. You'll see a no run-through review for Hulk whenever I get my copy. But yeah, 9 out of 10. He is just everything I loved about all the other heroes. That if you watch my ranking video, like the top 3, he does all that. But he's just not super quick about it. Like, he can do everything. I don't know. Yeah, he can pretty much do everything. He's just not fast about it. You have to work for it, but it is rewarding. So, that's my thoughts on the second newest hero, Doctor Strange. Let me know what you think of Doctor Strange in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.